honestly, when I really got into guns, I actually had to use it for self-defense.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know this. Okay,
Yes,
from a frame of perspective, so you're outside of the car.
Outside of the car.
And so you're taking a look at whatever damage you thought was on the car.
Right.
And then so you heard the tire screeching coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, is you're looking at it, or is your back turned? Or like, where are you positioning wise?
I can show you.
What do you mean?
I got the video.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
I'll show you real quick.
So wait, hold on. So where did the video footage come from?
As I was talking to the guys, the security guys that work there, he was like, he came outside, he was like, man, that was badass. And so, from there, it was just like, all right, cool. Like he was like, you want to see? And then he had it on his phone already. I was like, can you airdrop that to me?
Yeah. And
he did it. I was like, cool.
This episode of the Colion Noir podcast is brought to you by Vetter Holsters. Welcome to another episode of the Colion Noir podcast, and I'm here with Chris TV. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Yeah. Happy to be here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We ran into each other at the range at ETTS.
Yeah, for sure.
How long you been shooting over there?
About 2.5 years now.
Yeah,
about 2.5 years.
Okay. Yeah. How did you find out about it? Because I didn't know about it for good because I was shooting over at TDSA for a while, and I still go back and forth.
Gotcha.
Do you shoot at TDSA at all?
No, I've never been there.
Oh, really?
I've seen it, but I like the guys at Defender Outdoors. They told me about it, and I was just like, I wish I had I was doing like some long range stuff, and they're just like, yeah, you can go out here, and they got like 1,000-yard range. So I'm like,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, now TDSA is during this time of the year, it's probably the best time to go.
Oh,
yeah, because during the summertime, it's because it's all tires,
right?
And so the heat, the wasp, the mosquitoes, it just gets bad.
For sure.
But when it's kind of cooler, it's actually real cool to go out there. Okay. It's more tight. Like if you're looking for long range stuff, probably not. I think it goes out to maybe 500-600.
That's not bad.
But other than that, more tactical side of things, I think it's a good deal.
That's not bad at all. And that's what, Ennis, I think, right?
Yeah, Ennis, out in Ennis, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, at least for me, because I'm downtown, so I can 25 minutes. I'm at the range.
Yeah, for sure.
It's more like 45 minutes to an hour.
Same,
but
same for sure.
So how did you get into guns? Because I always like to hear people's story, because mine was very. I don't know. What do you think, Peter? You think my story about getting into guns did that excite you?
Pause. No, it didn't excite me. I think it's very typical though. Like most people are generally kind of afraid of guns, and then they get into it, and the first day at the range, it's like, oh, this is cool. Okay, and then you go down that rabbit hole. Yeah,
well, absolutely. So, like, how did you get into it?
Well, originally my dad is from Chicago, so he moved to Texas, and he was exposed to it. Of course, in Chicago you can't have them.
Yeah.
Out in Texas is like, collect them like Pokemon cards. So, he, of course, 4th of July's, New Year's, he,
okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we never really had a talk. It was just more so, hey, just these are guns, dangerous, stuff like that. But honestly, when I really got into guns, I actually had to use it for self-defense.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to get in? We can talk about that. Yeah. So what happened in that regard?
So basically, it was a little bit after. Well, it was probably like February of 2021. I want to say.
Okay. So it's fairly recent. Yeah.
2021.
Okay.
And basically, road rage. I was trying to get around a guy. He cut me off. I flicked my lights at him. We're right by the federal building on Commerce, and he rolls down the window and asked me if I would like to be unalived, and I was like, so I rolled out the window, Then from there, I proceeded to make that right, and it's only one lane you can turn right into, right there in front of the federal building, and then he goes from one lane and tries to cut me off, kind of scrapes the front of my car, so I get out to look at it. As I'm getting out to look at it, I hear tires screeching in the background. He's spinning the block. So I carried concealed. Yeah. I went to the range probably I'll probably say maybe once every 2-3 months.
Yeah, okay. At this point.
At that point.
Okay.
So I knew how to use it, and I was, at the time I was carrying a Springfield XD40. Mm-hmm. Terrible decision. I'll say that. I do not have a gun no more.
A 40 was the first thing. My first gun I shot was a subcompact 40, Taurus PT 111.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, so I get it. Yeah.
So we all been there.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah. So heard the tire screeching. I was carrying concealed at the time. Pretty much, as I've seen him kind of go by, I've seen something. He had lifted something to the window. Had like a little glare to it. Mm-hmm. I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I let one shot off. Then he like proceeded forward, hit the brake.
All right. So I've got to give a quick shout out to Vetter Holsters. They're now sponsoring the podcast. I've been using their light tuck Kydex inside the waistband holster. And what I really like is how adjustable it is. You can tweak the ride height and cant to get it exactly how you want. Plus, they've got holsters for over 450 gun models in 75 different colors. So you can pretty much find whatever you need. But here's the thing that really sets them apart. Their customer service. I've heard so many stories about how they've gone above and beyond to make sure you're happy with your holster. And with a lifetime warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee, it's clear they stand behind their products. If you're in the market for a great holster, check them out at betterholsters.com. So just from a frame of perspective, so you're outside of the car.
Outside of the car.
And so you're taking a look at whatever damage you thought was on the car.
Right.
And then so you heard the tire screeching coming towards you. Mm-hmm. So at this point, is you're looking at it, or is your back turned? Or like, where are you positioning wise?
I can show you.
What do you mean?
I got the video.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
I'll show you real quick. Let's see.
So wait, hold on. So where did the video footage come from?
The federal building.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So as I was talking to the guys, the security guys that work there, he was like, he came outside. He was like, man, that was badass. And so, from there, it was just like, all right, cool. Like he was like, you want to see? And then he had it on his phone already. I was like, can you airdrop that to me?
Yeah, and he
did it. I was like, cool. Let's see here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was insane.
I did not know that. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. And so, that's let's see here.
How many times did you shoot?
4 times.
4 times. Okay.
4 times total. Yeah.
Because I think I saw like two flashes. Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry. So walk me through this. All right. So walk me through this again while we're watching it, and then and Peter will put it on there. And
got you.
Okay.
So that's him circling the block. Mm-hmm. I look behind me, pull my weapon. Then of course I start going around my car for cover. Mm-hmm. Shot one off because I seen the little shimmer, and then what you'll see right there is him stick the gun back out. You see the shine off of it, and then. Yeah, I just start to engage from there.
So when you were closing the distance after the fact, what was going through you? So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, largely because one, I know these are questions that people are going to want to know.
Absolutely.
Just in case they're in those situations before. So like you initially went behind cover, and we're Monday morning quarterbacking, right? Yeah. So when you went behind the car, what made you decide at that point to then start closing the distance and take those other shots after? Considering you already knew he had a gun also.
Right. So as he starts to slow down, because typically people don't slow down when they, are getting shot at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I assumed that I hit him.
Okay.
So my first instinct was, okay, I'm going to be careful, but worst case, I don't, at the end of the day, if I can save him, I don't want to,
Yep.
And so that's where my head was, but I'm not going to leave myself out in the open.
Yeah.
So at that point, as I started closing the distance, I made sure I stayed in his blind spot. Because if you're left-handed.
Yeah, you can't.
If you're right-handed, it's so instead of like coming like right to your window, in a sense. So that's where my head was when I was thinking about closing the distance. But
I'm watching you now. Yeah, I can see you definitely did that. Like you definitely kind of kept at that, literally on the blind spot of the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where my head was with that. But at the end of the day, I mean, if I got to protect myself, I'm gonna protect myself. Yeah. But if I can prevent somebody, from taking a transition, I'll definitely do that.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So at this point, all right. So like I'm watching the video now. So you close the distance and then you take additional shots. So other than just the tactic standpoint, what's going through your head? Are you noticing that you're I don't know, like, are you aware of your adrenaline dumping, or did things just kind of slow down for you? Like, what was your your mindset and just your demeanor throughout that whole thing?
So I would honestly say it was kind of like a fight or flight type of situation. To be honest, I didn't even realize that I went around my car for cover. I didn't know that I did that.
Okay.
It was just something I look back, I was like, oh, I kind of, all right. Okay.
Oh, here you go.
Oh yeah, no problem. So
where'd you even learn to do that initially? Was this just instinctive, or was it something you you trained before, you watched before, or?
Well, when I was 20, going in 21, I went through the police academy. So I was Cedar Valley Police Academy.
Okay.
Pursue law enforcement, stuff like that. So basically, I kind of already knew the basics. Nothing advanced or anything like that. And again, I shot 2-3 times a month, maybe 2 or 3 boxes of 50. So like we're talking about 100, 150 rounds. Nothing crazy, nothing, just regular stuff.
Yeah.
But it just kind of, I went back to that same training, honestly.
That's crazy. Yeah. You know what's funny about that? We kind of clowned about the 40. From a round perspective, going through a vehicle, it's probably actually the better round for that, right? Sure. Other than maybe 357 SIG, but that's interesting how that kind of works out. So did he end up dying or what?
No, I ended up getting him. I got him twice. He drove to Kaufman County to go to the hospital. Of course, Dallas PD did their thing. They took my gun. I actually followed them to the police station, drove my car there off Lamar. They interviewed me, just got my statement, let me go. I was probably there for maybe every bit of 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. 45 minutes. And then
where was he hit?
He was hitting the back and kind of like back ribs and back shoulder.
Okay.
So and then from there, so found him at Kaufman County, arrested him, and then came to find out that his vehicle had matched vehicle. It was him and another guy. They were like basically hitting cars and robbing them. So I look at it like karma. Like you chose the right person at the right time.
Well, the wrong person at the right time. That's crazy, man. And then it's all on video.
Yeah, all on video.
Clear too. That's crazy.
Honestly, I think that's what saved me. And then this was like at 8 p.m. So it was like a random time. So it was like 8 p.m. So there was people walking up and down the street, and they were able to corroborate what I said. So of course the video backs everything up. But
so in hindsight. Like, again, we're Monday morning quarterbacking, right?
Right.
Is there anything you would have done different? I'm talking about from the initial point of contact to the end of it all.
I would probably say I kind of go back and forth over my cell phone, like kind of closing that distance, because anything can happen.
Yeah.
If he would open the door and got out with something bigger than what I expected, I'm toast.
Yeah.
So I would probably say that, but I'm glad I didn't stay in my car because I hear you that your car could be a coffin at the end of the day.
That's actually one of my biggest fears is having to deal with a self-defense situation while in my car.
Right.
It's in my thought process. My thought process is get the hell out of the car as fast as possible. For sure, unless I can use the car, as a battering ram. But other than that, my thing is I want to get out of the car and I want to be able to move.
No,
that's the thing, right? Like I want to be able to move. I don't want to be stuck in one place. Man, that's crazy. And so now, would you have handled the initial road rage situation different? And there's a reason why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking too much of it because it's not like I honked at them, flipped them off, like I flicked my lights, just hey, I'm here, right here, and then, it goes differently. But I would probably say, just be a little bit more kind of laid back, let it go, because flicking the lights, what is that really going to do at the end of the day? But besides piss somebody off, obviously.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, it's hard, man.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
It really is, especially in Dallas.
Yeah, because, and I tell people, like, I try to put myself in the mindset, because even flicking lights, it's really not that bad. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like it's just kind of like, hey, you cut me off, flick lights. Just be mindful of that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But even the smallest thing like that can set someone off for no reason, and now they're chasing you down.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And so I kind of always try to keep that in my head. Now I'm not saying I'm perfect, right?
Yeah.
But it's hard. But I just try to let everything that happens in traffic roll off my back.
Yeah.
As long as I'm still safe, all right, good. You want to cut me off? Cut me off.
Right.
Riding my tail is kind of a bit of an issue for me. But for the most part, I try to just keep, you got it.
I feel it. I definitely feel it.
That's me personally.
No, I feel it.
But it's easier said than done, right? Because in the moment.
Right. No telling what type of day you didn't have.
Exactly.
How many people didn't cut you off right before this last person.
Yep.
So, I definitely understand it.
So, did you make any changes? Did you change the way, did you change the gun that you carried, or did you change the way you thought about self-defense situations? Like, how did that change your perspective on that?
So the first thing I did go and get another gun because Dallas Police Department had my gun. So
how long did they end up keeping it?
I want to say it was about 3.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.5 months after the investigation was closed, and then they let it go. But of course, I had to go and pick it up from the evidence thing and get the federal background check, all that stuff. But it was, if I would have to say anything, I changed. I more so was a little bit more vigilant on, a little bit more careful. Yeah. I don't do things unless it's necessary now. I just like everything chill. Yeah. I don't like being around too much extra. If it's something that possibly can happen in my head, it probably will happen. Yeah. So I'm just like, I'll leave it alone.
Yeah. Now that's and I think maybe that's age. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know for me, it's like, I'm like, I'm avoidant. Just get me out of the situation. I'll just remove myself from the situation as fast as I can. Just because I know how fast things can go from 0 to 100. Yeah. Right. Yeah, without even thinking. The next thing you know, like, are you fighting for your life? I'm like, how'd I get here?
Right. Exactly. Because you never know, like, you looking at, hey, I got a lot to lose. A lot of people depending on me. Yeah. You got other people that's like, they're not going to think about it until they get that life sentence.
I mean, we live in an epidemic of crash dummies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think there's been this many crash dummies in America as there is now.
Ever.
Like, it's insane. Yeah. So, like, what got you to say, okay, I've gotten into guns, right? And so was it instant? Was it just like once your dad kind of introduced it to him, they're like, hey, I like this, I want to keep doing this? Like, what made you say, okay, then take the next step, I want to get into making YouTube videos?
So I was already on the YouTube side. I had started my own trucking business and I had put it on YouTube. And so in that process, after that had happened, I was still doing trucking stuff. I started my own company, whatever. Yeah. And so basically, long story short, I had did a gun collection video and I was just like, okay, let's see what this does. And I did like 450,000 views. And I'm like,
something to this.
I can do the same thing with guns. It's something I like to do. Yeah. And so I just kept throwing like little stuff in there every now and then, but catering to my main audience. Yeah. And then from there I was just like, I'm selling my business, so let me just do this full time. And as time progressed, I just started realizing, I started doing my research more so before I decided to take on guns 110%. But I did my research and I was looking at my guns and looking at the guns that, all types of people were uploading. You were uploading. I was looking at my little Draco 9. I was like, oh, this is trash, bro. I'm like, nah, I gotta do something different.
See, what you didn't do is you didn't go back and look at my old videos.
Oh, man, I seen your very first video.
Okay.
Burberry wallet. I've seen all that, man. I've seen it all.
Yep. You definitely, I can't, you ain't lying. You definitely watched them.
I did, I did my research because I'm like real analytical. Yeah. Before I get anything, I want to, because this is expensive. This is an expensive hobby. Besides, this is cars. It's a very expensive hobby. Yeah. So I did my research, wanted to see how I could actually do it. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna really, do this. You know, it was pretty cool. But I watched a lot of your videos, a lot of people's videos. So it's,
I always say YouTube is that gateway drug.
Oh yeah,
right.
For sure.
That's what got me. Like I remember shooting for the first time. First thing I did was jumped on YouTube and started looking the same thing. Yeah, story's almost damn near the same. Not the initial parts, but once I got into it, right, I was like, okay. I started looking at. I watched all the YouTube videos. I was like, I was watching Hitchcock. I was watching Nothing Fancy. I was watching all these people, right. And for me, I started thinking, I was like, man, I kind of want to do videos, right. Sure. And so that's what I did. I just when I remember I went to my homeboy's house, and funny thing, he was just here yesterday, and he was getting into photography as I was getting into the gun stuff.
Oh, that's perfect.
Right. So I would like go to his house, set it up in his kitchen, pissing his wife off and stuff. And so I'm over there, like a lot of those early tabletop reviews, those were at his house. Oh, okay, like on some of them, you can hear like the kitchen sounds, water running and stuff like that. That was his wife.
So you weren't stopping nothing.
She was just like, you using my house. So but and then from there, I finally that's when this was kind of like the precipice of like DSLR cameras and stuff. So like the Canons and stuff. So I remember I went online, I found a used one, and I met a guy at Chili's, and I remember I bought my first DSLR camera. I was like, all right, we about to kill the game with this. So it was like, and then from there, the rest was history. And I was like, I was doing all the filming, editing, everything myself. Is that pretty much? Yeah. Yep.
Shoot, edit. I have my girl. She be helping me. You know, holding the camera. You know, not knowing what she's doing. It's the post is where the magic is. The post editing, that's where all the magic happens.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's I got this asshole over here now.
Hi. I'm the asshole.
And my brain can't go back to how I managed to film, edit, do all that stuff by myself before.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's kind of spoiled me at this point. My brain literally can't go back and remember how I did it.
Right.
So it's crazy now seeing someone who's kind of been in that same situation a little bit where they kind of having to do that. You run into any issues at all with like YouTube monetization, stuff like that? Is that, I'm pretty sure there's a...
Yeah, so when I first got in, I partnered up with my bros, GSG Hustle, Rambo J. They really they was already in it for about a year before I got into it. So they really kind of guided me a little bit, like, hey, you can't post this, you can't say that, you can't show this, you can't show that. So I didn't run into as many roadblocks as probably normal people did.
They kind of steered you around.
Yeah. So now it's like I'm able to, stand on my own too and do my thing now.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot harder for y'all because when I got into it, YouTube was Wild Wild West still.
Yeah.
So you could pretty much do anything. And there was not like all the algorithms that kind of do all that stuff. No, it was pure. It was like, if people fucked with you, they watch your shit and they subscribe. That was it.
Right.
There was none of this like, oh, we're gonna make this person go, make that person not go. Like none of that throttling shit.
Okay.
Full auto, anything you want to do, you can do it, right?
Dang.
Man. And so now the hoops and hurdles that people have to jump through, it's insane, man.
Yeah.
So the barrier to entry is high.
Yeah.
It's high.
Yeah. So, and I mean, that's one thing I can say I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Just people watch and, I take my time with the videos, stuff like that. Cause it's a lot of work and energy, like editing and shooting these videos, coming up with ideas, all that stuff.
So for people that you run into people who are like, man, it must be nice. You get to go out and shoot gun videos and things of that nature. I don't think people understand how much really goes into it.
Not a bit. I think they just kind of see like the aftermath of everything.
Yeah, and it looks fun, but it's and don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, and I'm pretty sure you're enjoying it too. But there is a lot, and there's like little tiny stuff that has nothing to do with the thing you enjoy, but you have to do it in order to get that information out there. So, what's your overall goal with the channel?
Just to grow, man. I'm more. I would say my niche is more so like. Everyday carry, pretty much the same thing I showed you in the video. That's what I feel like I can relate to a little bit more. But I think I just want to grow my channel, be able to educate people on different firearms, new stuff coming out. I'm not going to say the typical thing, but I'm more so kind of on the EDC, home protection, being able to protect yourself because I feel like that's what matters. I tried competition once.
Yeah, how was that? I think I actually saw that video. You got
slaughtered. Got slaughtered, man. I went out there. Look at these nerds. These guys.
And they destroyed you.
I think I came in like third to last.
People don't realize, man, that shooting is a skill set.
Man.
Right? Like the way I always said it was this. Like if you have some athleticism, you will escalate quickly in terms of your shooting ability, but it only will take you so far. Because then after that, it becomes a skill. There's a component to it that's a skill where you can be as fast, jump as high, run, all the stuff that you want. It doesn't matter, right? Because this is a very particularized skill set that you have to learn how to do as efficiently as possible, especially with competition shooting.
Right.
Because it's stuff you don't even see that's going on. You're not even aware it's happening.
Right.
Like I remember when I started kind of getting into it a little bit, and they were telling me, all right, you got to step like this, and then I was like, man, you got to think about all that.
Right.
I'm like,
shoot.
Yeah. Because your time differences are so close. It's those little things that make up the difference, right?
Yeah,
so that's funny to hear because I know when I did my first competition, it was ugly, ugly.
Yeah, man. That's the biggest thing. Like, it's one thing to be able to shoot. Like, even learning to walk and shoot and be accurate is a task by itself. But like these guys is on like a whole different level, man. So, but I respect them now. I think, they
not nerds no more.
So you got to go out there, bump your head a little bit. Okay, I see what you got.
They got, and then but it also but that's the beauty behind it, right?
Right.
It's going out there and realizing, all right, this is something else I can start learning how to do too, and then you have something to aspire to. Right. And so I think I think chronologizing that journey. Like, are you going to continue?
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
It? Yeah,
absolutely.
and I think you should post those videos because I know for me that's what I wanted to do was let people watch the growth happen, right? Yeah. Because I think a lot of people get intimidated and they think, okay, well, because if they see you, like if somebody comes across your channel 5-10 years from now after you've grown throughout that time period, they're gonna look at him like, damn, man, like I wish I could be like that. And then, but now they can go back and look at, okay, I see where he started.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And so that you see that growth. And I think that's incredibly important for people to get as many people into the space so they don't feel like, okay, well, I'm a little intimidated. I don't want to get into all that. But they can see your videos and my videos and other people's videos. And
facts.
Yeah.
And see, and that's another thing too. Like a lot of people want to look right all the time to everybody, and so like with me, I'm an only child, so I don't care about being wrong. I don't care about I don't care about what nobody else says. You know, like we gonna grow together. We gonna learn together. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, and that's what I want people to see on my channel: the growth. You know, like okay, I remember when you were doing this, and now you're doing this, and I feel like it just kind of creates that bond in a sense.
Yep. I say only children are the most self-aware people on the planet because our entire lives we've spent with ourselves, with our flaws. Yeah. So we're comfortable and we're like, yeah, that's me. But so from a concealed carry standpoint, now we're gonna kind of geek out on gun stuff a little bit.
Okay.
So what's your go-to concealed carry now?
I've been kind of bouncing around, but in all honesty, my go-to, what I started with and what I'm at right now is the Glock 19.
Okay.
Glock 19, you know, nice little mag wheel on there, Radiant Ramjet, and I'm good.
Yeah. No, I'm a concealed carry whore, so I'm constantly rotating. So I have rotations and stuff, and I think I make excuses for having different types of guns. Yeah. But the gun I've been kind of carrying the most, and we were kind of talking about this off air a little bit. I kind of go back and forth between the Staccato CS and the Springfield Hellcat Pro. So those are kind of two, and it kind of just depends on what I'm wearing. Right. And every once in a while I'll carry a C.
So wait, Hellcat Pro. Okay, so I got it. Them things are snappy, man. It's like shooting like a 12 gauge.
So, are you talking about the Pro? Or are you talking about the smaller ones?
I think both of them are snappy. So those were like when I first got into the space. Like I went and got the regular one, and I was like, man, this thing is still snappy.
Have you shot the one with the comp?
No, not yet.
Nah. I don't know why, but for me, because I've heard that before. And are they the softest shooting of the guns that I have on my rotation? No. Yeah. But there's one they carry really well for me.
Okay.
So that's one thing I will say. So I don't know what it is, and that's why I haven't done a video on it. Okay. But there's something about the Hellcat Pro that I carry appendix. You carry appendix?
Yeah.
I can hide that anywhere.
Yeah, facts.
Even when I'm running the 17 round mag. So for me, I'm like, okay, I got this gun, high capacity, and then shootability side of it, I shoot it well. Yeah. Now, I think that's more my body mechanics more than anything, because I tell people all the time, like, you can have a gun and 5 different people, and one person can't shoot it for shit. Another person another person can't miss with it, right? And a lot of it just has to do body mechanics, how your hands are, things like that. Right. That just happens to be one of the guns that I shoot extremely well. That and the Staccato CS. Okay. For me, the CS is a confidence thing. I'm so confident from a shooting standpoint with that gun that I'm like, there's no reason why I shouldn't carry this gun. Okay. Because I can shoot it that well. But it's also a little bit larger, so sometimes that's why I bounce back and forth between that. And if I got to go real small, I'm doing like a SIG P365. Okay, gotcha. And that's another gun that I can shoot really well. Yeah. And I remember
I can shoot those pretty good.
Yeah, were you with me that day when we did? Were you with me when I did the 365, the small? I think so, because I remember out there and I was like, man, I can't miss with this thing. Yeah. And like it was one of the guns that just felt so natural in my hand. I just couldn't miss. Right. I mean, and so for whatever reason, I was like, and that's kind of me personally how I choose my guns. Okay. That I decide to carry, which somebody can say, well, does not reliability play a factor? And to a degree, it does. Right. But I'm also in between, like I'm making sure, my gun stays lube and make sure it stays clean and things of that nature. So yeah, so that's kind of like my carry rotation.
So I got a question for you. So, and this is kind of a video I'm working on too. And it's basically like, going from micro compact to this, and then you got all your different grip angles. See, and that's what I suffer with. So like, of course, Glock, when I point, shoot, and then, when I go to my bull armory, I'm like, trying to rotate those wrists, trying to find that dot. So like, how do you kind of deal with that?
So what I do, so like when you saw me at the range, right, the other day. So when you saw me at the range, I was filming. Right. So what I do is I would take trips to the range by myself. And so what I'll do is I'll bring all my carry guns that I carry the most. I'll bring them with me and I'll run drills with all of those guns. And what I'll do is I'll run drills that force me to be tired. So I'm not just working on draw strokes so much, because I can self-correct that in that moment because I'm kind of comfortable. So what I'll do is, like, at that particular bay, I'll set up those barrels at like different intervals. All those, so I'll start from the one end all the way down to the end, and I'll set the shot timer, and I'll just run, and then I'll draw. Sometimes I'll do it from a concealment. Sometimes I'll just have it in hand. So what it forces me to do is I have to teach myself to focus while I'm huffing and puffing, and I'll notice what I'm naturally doing from my sight alignment and angle standpoint. And so then I won't do it just for one gun. I'll keep switching in the middle of them. So like I'll do one rep, do that way, then switch to another gun, do that rep, switch to another gun, do that way. So inevitably my brain kind of gets used to the variety. And then it in turn creates a level of consistency. I know it sounds backwards, but that's essentially what ends up happening. However, I will say this. One weakness or downside of doing that, I will say, is the safety. So I can draw my staccato CS really quickly from concealment, drop the safety, get on target. Where I run into a problem is where I go to a gun that has no safety. Because I've ingrained that muscle memory so much. When I go to draw a gun that doesn't have a safety, I'm still sweeping down. So it's making my draw slower. So if I don't do that, I can always draw a gun with no safety faster than the gun with the safety. But since I'm now automatically tuned to draw a gun with the safety, I'm taking that extra step to draw something, to sweep something that's not there. And so just like, you get what I'm saying? So
see, the opposite was happening to me. Like when I first got my staccato P, like I'll pull it out and
yeah, exactly. And I tell people all the time, if your gun has a safety on it, you have to make that your default. Like you have to make that muscle memory be your default because you're gonna forget. If it's not ingrained until the point where it's automatic, you're gonna forget all the time. I don't care. No, I remember. I used to tell myself that shit. And the thing that actually made me really realize that was I did a course. And they did this on purpose. They had us running through a shoot house simulation. We did like some simulations of like walking into your house and you realize someone's there, so now you're trying to clear your house and so forth. And they made us do it with a Beretta, with the safety on.
That was fun.
And every single time I did my run, I forgot to take the safety off. So I would see him and every single, and that was eye opening for me. And I realized, if you're gonna run a gun with a safety, you better run that gun.
Absolutely. So I got tired of like having the mess ups, and then I got like bigger hands, so I think the Glock 19 for me, it just kind of fits just right, and then the mag wheel pushes my hand up into that trigger guard. And, it just kind of fits me. And so like now I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to stick to one platform. Of course, have my other fun toys. And then if I'm wearing shorts or something like that, I won't grab the 43X. I'm sorry. You got those guns that you just shoot terrible. That is one. The 43X. Yo, I don't know what is about a 43X.
I'm decent with a 43X. I'm decent.
I'm hot garbage with a 43X.
Really?
Trash with a 43X.
But I think what it might be too is that grip is really thin.
Yeah, it is.
And so if you have bigger hands and you're overly wrapping around the grip, I think that can create a kind of a natural feel for the gun. And it just doesn't feel natural or comfortable. So you just don't have the confidence to shoot it.
See, and it's kind of similar, the same thing with the staccato CS versus the staccato C2. I can shoot the C2 like crazy. CS?
No. Yeah, because that grip is small. That grip is small. Yeah, because I shoot the C2 and the CS pretty much the same. Now, if you're asking me, hey, I need you to go out there and put on a show of shooting expedition, right? And I'm probably gonna bring either my Staccato XC or my Nighthawk.
Staccato XC. Those are cheating guns. Like
that's what I'm saying. If you tell me, I'm gonna play fair. Fact. So that's the gun I would bring. But so what would be your go-to gun if you knew like you had to do your absolute best shooting? We're not talking like self-defense. We're talking like you gotta stack rounds on top of rounds on top of rounds. You gotta shoot from far distances. What would that gun be for you?
Would this be a gun that I already have, or the gun?
It doesn't matter. Anything.
So I would say the gun that I don't have is the XC. I would go with the XC because I shot that for the first time. I want to say that was 2022 SHOT Show. I went to Staccato's range day. man, crazy. So I was hooked ever since, and so that actually is what prompted me to my second gun, because I shot that XC and I was just like, this is a cheat code.
Yeah.
So I want to make my Glock like that, but on a budget.
Yeah.
Hence the name Glock.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So then from there, I basically performance trigger, radiant ramjet and afterburner, X300 turbo.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my go-to. Like, if there's any gun I can shoot like stack, it's gonna be the Glock 19 with the hookups.
Yeah.
Sure.
I will say, so I shoot 2011s a lot because it's just my favorite guns to shoot. I will say, when you go back to regular guns, as I like to call them, because 2011s are cheating. They're cheating.
Yeah.
Like that, plain and simple. Like, don't make you feel like you're a rock star. You really ain't that good a shooter. Yeah. Going back to a regular gun, because I experienced it with Peter. We were filming. I'm under embargo. There's a new Springfield gun coming out, and so we were shooting that one, and I'm like, and I could shoot it well, but my mindset is comparing it to how well I shoot a 2011. Right. So I'm like, something's off here, and then I realized that I was like, oh yeah, that's right, 2011 is cheating.
Yeah,
it's a cheat gun.
Exactly.
So you gotta remember that, like, to keep your expectations measured, because when you go back to a regular gun, you're not gonna shoot the way you shot with that 2011.
And that's the thing with 2011. It's like the trigger is just like. It's next to none.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, and that's one thing with me. I feel like that's one of the most important things about a gun is it has to be like that trigger has to be crisp.
Yeah, the trigger is everything.
Yeah,
the trigger is everything, which is why I always make a big deal about it, because I hyper focus on them more or less on my videos for the most part. And it's weird because it's hard to kind of communicate the distinctions in the trigger, because a lot of it is just the feel. Like you feel it, but you can't really articulate it. You know what the differences are, because there are some triggers, like rolling style triggers, where there's no real wall. I can shoot those fast.
Really?
Yes, I can shoot them fast, but I don't shoot well with them from long distances.
Okay.
So if I'm at 100 yards, 200 yards with it, it's harder for me to get those hits with the rolling trigger. Okay. Right. So for those type of shots, I need like basically a 2-stage trigger, where you get the take up, wall, and then that break.
Right.
But I can shoot the rolling triggers faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. See, me, I gotta have that wall. I feel like that's when I'm the most accurate. But I had a couple of rolling triggers. I never tried to shoot them fast. I just noticed I wasn't as accurate with those versus the 2-stage.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's a psychological thing, largely because it's like once you kind of get that prep, it gives you the confidence to know, boom, all right, there it goes. Thanks. Even though without having that wall there, you still know where it breaks, but you don't really know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think for self-defense gun, that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's absolutely important.
110%. For sure.
Yeah. But man, like we met out there on the range or whatever, and then I've been ninja watching. Okay. I ninja watch a lot of people. Honestly, I do. I ninja watch a lot of people because it's like I kind of, it lets me kind of go back to where. Right. Like when I'm doing it as long as I've been doing it, sometimes you start to kind of become a little stale and become a one pony focused kind of individual. And that kind of being able to see people kind of come in brand new and start to come through, it's dope. It's dope to see. So, but no, man, you're local, so I mean, you got open invite here. Come back on, talk anytime. Probably need to get out there and do some shooting. Let me see this Glock 19 you keep ranting and raving about.
Man, when you shoot it, you're gonna be like, okay, I see what you're talking about.
All right, we'll see. I'm a Glock. My thing is, if I have to live with one Glock, and I'll end with this, a 19X. That is my coup de grace. Like you can't pry that thing from my hands.
See, the only thing about the 19X is pretty much the same thing with the 17, 45s, whatever. Is the grip. I like how the grip, especially when I put a mag well in it, but I like how that grip kind of pushes up against my pinky and it just kind of seats my hand in there just right. That wedge, and I feel like it helps mitigate that recoil.
Gotcha.
Versus the bigger one, I feel like it kind of rocks a little too much. I feel that recoil a little bit more.
So it's interesting because I get that effect with the 19X stock.
Okay.
But like again, I have hobbit hands. You don't have hobbit hands, so it kind of works differently. Like say, people don't understand. People underestimate body mechanics, right? That plays a big part in what guns work. That's why I always say, go to the gun store, get it in your hand, feel it, because
that's important.
Yeah.
That's important.
But yeah, no, I'll bring my 19X. I'll come out and I'll shoot yours and then see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I like the 19. I hate the 17.
Okay.
I hate the 17 with a passion.
I'm the same way. Yeah. I just I had got the 47.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool.
I've never liked the 17. I've tried and tried it. It's like country music for me.
Right.
I've tried and tried and tried and tried to like country music. I just can't. I've done the same thing with the 17. I just can't. But
I got you.
For sure. I appreciate you coming out, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you. And we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.